Welcome back to Dum Dum's 2099, where improvisers who've never role-played before journey into a futuristic world of Dungeons & Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Alyn, Honor System, and Declan have escaped the Hyperloop and are closing in on the executives. Declan delivered an expert warning shot to scare the conductor. Honor System flashed binary Morse code to get the train to stop, and Alyn fireballed 2 executives before she was hit by the slowed-down train. What will happen now they've reached Citadel Station? Find out next on Dum Dums and Dragons 2099.
So as you move forward off of the platform, you enter a sort of large open space that leads to 2 wide escalators that have kind of those toothed metallic stairs just kind of ascending upward towards Citadel Station. You notice that both sets of escalators are moving upward right now. Neither is moving down. Get a sense that, you know, in a normal day, one would likely be set to heading down. And these aren't side by side. This is a fairly wide space. Each of these escalators is wide enough that 2 humanoid figures could easily stand shoulder to shoulder. Again, high efficiency on all these things. In the center of the space, there is a large ramp that is just kind of, you know, carved into the stone. We've got metal overlay. If you think about like a Tony Hawk game, this is the kind of thing you would grind down. But it is just kind of a wide, broad ramp that separates these 2 elevators. And all the way up this ramp are large glass screens. Those kind of classic sci-fi, read them from either side, panes of glass that are showing kind of moving images. In this case, all of them are showing sort of like welcome to the Primerhood ads. You get the sense that these are similar to what will be played back planet side, but there are a lot of those like incredibly weird corporate like timeshare style ads where, you know, it's like, you know, a happy like orc and elf holding hands with, you know, their children, like walking into a Primerhood and like putting on their Amazon like yellow and black outfits and happily putting like hard hats on the kids, and then just happily stuffing boxes, you know, the whole routine. So there's a variety of those showing, creating a sort of cacophony of admittedly like low volume ads. You get the sense it's like targeted audio, so as you go up it'll kind of hit you. But over and above that, as we established last episode, you can hear a sound of a kerfuffle at the concourse that these escalators lead to. So much like if you've been, I'm thinking specifically of, I think it's Chicago, I think it's O'Hare, coming out of O'Hare to like airport to the subway and everything else, is like one of these sorts of things where there's kind of a domed, not a domed roof, but kind of a curvature to the roof. It's not super high above the escalators. Like it does still feel like you're kind of coming up through a tunnel. So you don't have direct line of sight. It also goes up a decent distance. This thing has been buried, so you know it'll probably take about a minute of riding this escalator to reach the top. To the on the inner side of each of these escalators, there is just a straight luggage ramp, similar to what you'd see at an airport, but small. So probably, closer to what you would see going through an X-ray scanner at an airport. So for hand luggage, backpacks, that sort of thing. There are 2 large carousels on either side of this space before the escalators for oversized luggage. So think very much an airport luggage conveyor belt. Just a little bit of it's exposed, but clearly lifts heavier luggage or things that would likely be carried by employees rather than executives up to the higher floors. You can see some bags that didn't quite make it to these these things. There's like a lot of stuff you'd expect to see the MFTs traveling with. So like large magical trunks with, like stickers on them and then that sort of thing. Alyn, you can feel stray magic from basically ingredients and from the various things. Like if you were playing like by the rules and actually needed all manner of bits and pieces to cast your spells, it's that sort of.
Nah, man, that's why I gotta focus, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, the MFTs are not nearly as advanced as you because you abandoned them, and when you went back to your own world and left them in control of evil people and a very well-meaning, very dead robot.
Yeah, I don't sense any like healing potions, do I?
You know what? Go ahead and roll me a. What are we gonna do? Let's do investigation. Yeah. This would normally be like an arcana, but you don't have that on the sheet.
That's true. But they're both intelligence.
Yeah,
so.
just give me vehicles land, I guess.
That's 19.
19. You can fucking smell a healing potion. It's just like, again, you're so starved for anything magical or alchemical that isn't run on fucking quantum energy.
Yes.
It's not here. You do a quick look through this luggage. It's mostly nonsense ingredients. But you can tell it's nearby, which honestly probably means there's some unclaimed luggage somewhere, likely up top, that will have a healing potion in it. So there is a healing potion somewhere up there.
Okay.
Somewhere up there beneath the pale moonlight. So that is what you get from this. That's kind of the lay of the land. As I say, the escalators are both going up and they exit. Like from the angle you're at, you can't really see what's up there, but they exit onto a larger concourse. You can see a high vaulted ceiling beyond that. And you can hear all manner of echoey conversation. It really is like a lot of voices talking, which tracks with how many execs left the space. You hear clinking of glasses, raised voices, all that sort of stuff. What do you do?
Declan will get low, stay kind of crouching, and then what he wants to do is move his way up to one of the escalators, and then essentially get on it low with his rifle raised, where he's got the ability to look up, but he'll theoretically see anybody the moment they'll say him, and just use as much of the surrounding metal and other area as cover from where he'd be kind of in his hiding / auto advance place.
Okay, so you're gonna ride the escalator up from a essentially like sniper crouch.
Yes.
Been playing a lot of XCOM, so like I know, you got like a little full shield on your right and like a half shield ahead of you, and you get up there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, exactly.
Great. Honor system. What are you doing?
Is there any indication? No. I'll ask anyway. Is there any indication of the presence of armed guards?
Based on the 2 ambushes that have been sprung on you, you would assume there has to be someone. Also, based on what you've seen of these executives, if there wasn't someone competent with them, the odds of them making it this far are very low. Like, they had to operate a train, they had to move real quick that one time, like, they didn't step out immediately onto the track and get pulped by trains. Like, there's definitely some coordination going here, so I think it'd be safe to assume that there is likely some armaments up there. Plus, you've had ambushes laid for you twice now.
Yeah.
So they're clearly aware that they could be being chased.
Okay. And sorry, did you say there was like a separate thing for luggage go up?
Yeah. So there's 2 separate luggage systems. Right. There's the oversized luggage. There's one on either side of like left and right wall. That are just those circular carousels where you like throw a big bag on it and it just disappears somewhere.
Yeah.
And then to either side of the escalators, there are smaller ramps similar to what you would see going through an X-ray machine, or at some grocery stores where they have the like put your cart on it and it'll take it up with you. Just kind of conveyor belt ramps that run alongside that you could put like a briefcase on. They're probably about 2 feet wide.
Well, it doesn't feel like a good idea to get on the big one and just go somewhere else. So I will join Declan, not on his escalator, but on the the luggage belt that goes up.
All right, so
the
Declan,
escalators.
shall we say you're on left, and would you take the left or right escalator? I don't know if this really matters too much, but
Left.
left. Okay. And honor system, you're going to go up the luggage.
Yep.
The small, like the carry-on bag.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And Alan, what would you like to do?
I'd like to put myself into a piece of luggage and go up the luggage ramp. But like
I mean,
leave
Declan
it like
would help with this. I feel like we'd help.
Yeah,
get
and
Alan
but on the
in.
other
Get
side,
Get into a hockey bag.
yeah.
Yeah.
And leave it like like have it ajar if it's like a trunk type of thing, or I don't know how advanced these are, but
Okay,
like
well let's take another investigation check
Okay.
to see what kind of bag you can find.
excellent.
That
10.
Can we assist with finding Alan a trunk? I feel like if Alan had expressed this wish.
I'll let you assist. The catch here is it's I'm rolling not to be like, are there stuff? It's like, but what is actually there? So at 10, it's not great. So I think we'll say it's not quite like it's not like a convenient human-sized hockey bag.
Yeah.
Or like a large rucksack, I guess, for those of you not from Canada, where a hockey bag is just very clearly a certain size and shape. Instead, you find a, we'll say it's this same like trunk that is full of alchemical ingredients, all kind of low grade. You just dump those out. You're going to have to kind of pull your knees up and kind of, fetal position it. But with honor system and Declan's help, they can squish you in. Now you were talking about trying to leave this bag open. This is a trunk with clasps.
So
If the clasps are closed, you will be very, very stealthy. If the clasps are open, less stealthy, but you will have more options. Either way, we'll see.
I need to leave them open and like have something sticking out to just like prop it. I need to be able to see.
I mean, here's
because
the thing.
if the bag comes up and they start shooting, I need to be able to misty step the fuck out of there.
Yes, well, we've got a couple of options here, Alan. So one of the things is we could just straight up bust these clasps off, because I think the last thing you want to do is let it swing shut and close itself and you're fucked. Also, we could put some breathing holes or some little fucking eye holes up front so you can jump out if you need.
That's perfect.
Okay, so we'll do that. Brandy
Yes.
will help because I got my brandy made
So you
knife.
have to step aside, and we'll just start stabbing the shit out of this trunk.
All right, and then the other question is, I couldn't quite tell, Alan, when you said put me in a bag, if you wanted to try for us to jam it in this little thing here everyone can see, or if you want to go through the secret side thing for big things over there.
The secret one.
All right, that'll get you around the flank.
Yes.
Hopefully they aren't looking for fucking giant briefcases full of a wizard. Okay, you want to get into the box? I feel like, is it stabbed enough, system? You're our expert on all things sharp.
Honor system has just finished sort of like shearing the clasps off from like where they're affixed to the trunk, and we'll say it's done.
All right, perfect. Are you going to be okay in there with your ball of fingers and your bird, or do they need to go up a different way?
No, they're little Richard and Billy are fine. They're tucked in. They're used to this.
All right, well then.
I mean, not this specifically, but this in general.
I was wondering if that was like a thing you did back in your world, where you were like, oh, horses pull everything and we all travel around inside fucking boxes. It could happen.
I think last it was a barrel, but that doesn't matter.
I love that you get mad when we share any detail about anything, and you just share them all.
What?
You're a wonder of contradictions. Get in the fucking box.
No time to argue, so she gets in.
Great. So Alan, you clamber into the box, lid shuts. Immediately, like in my head at least, like the Acme theme from Looney Tunes is playing. Dun, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-da-da, as you like get pulled away into a fucking modern times Buster Keaton machine. Realistically, you're just pulled onto another ramp, and as you're watching Alan, like it's tight quarters in here, but it really does just seem to be a conveyance from here. Like you're pulling away from the main space, but also looping back around as you travel upward. So you will arrive later than Declan and honor system, but to Declan's point, you'll be flanking because you're coming up the other wall.
Yeah.
And you're in full stealth cover. So with that, Declan and honor system, you go to take up your ramps. Anything you would want to say or do before you go?
I mean, if you're going to go on this little ramp, like, should we wrap you in some fucking blankets or something so they don't just see a ninja droid laying on a ramp?
I will wait approximately 5 seconds while you ride the escalator before I join, so that I don't need to disguise myself. You will be able to reveal our position by firing a shot, at which point I will be not far behind to spring forward and begin engaging the closest targets.
All right, so I'll stay sneaky. I'll take the first shot, and then we'll go to fucking war. I don't think we have a fallback plan. There's more people fucking behind us, so there's no bonus to waiting.
No, there is not.
So, awkward question before we go on this death mission. I mean, Alyn's in a box. She's going to be a fucking while. Have you backed yourself up any time recently?
No, I haven't.
Fuck. Normally I'd say we could back you up, but I fried my fucking hacking device, so I don't got shit.
Yes, it makes me feel alive.
Okay, well, good. Just don't die.
Right. You too.
Perfect.
And with that sage advice ringing in your ears, Declan, you board the escalator. So the metallic steps carry you upward, and as you go, again, you're assaulted, not quite optimally because these things are keyed to a very specific height, so they're kind of missing you, but with all manner of messaging extolling the virtues of joining the hive, and of the joy and satisfaction unlike any that a mortal can experience, to be part of a god's vision, and to be part of a god's plan, and to just buzz happily away. That is quickly overpowered by a cacophony of voices. And this sounds a little bit like, again, if you've been in a busy airport terminal or busy train station like Union Station here in Toronto, or, before at a sporting event, anywhere where there's a large crowd, just a lot of voices echoing off a large space. But also clearly, I think, because Declan, you're trained to listen very particularly, a variety of conversations happening. You're just catching glimpses. I think maybe let's get a perception from you to see kind of how much you're getting on this. I'm going to give you advantage because you actually have a decent amount of time to be listening. It's a cacophony, but you have enough time to be able to maybe parse through some of it.
All right, that is a 29.
29. Okay. So the snippets of conversation you're getting, that's a tremendously good roll. I can't give you too much because of the nature of what it is. You're getting coverage from the Primer Hood launches. So there's clearly, again, more video screens delivering the reporting on this. You can hear some loud complaining about being stuck, just like general grumbling. It's the sorts of things you've heard before. As we established at the end of last episode, you hear there seems to be an animated and exhilarated and excited betting pool going of some sort. You hear smart odds on whether or not they got them, whether or not they're dead, just kind of echoing down here. You can hear just kind of a rhythmic banging of metal on metal that's just seeming to go at a regular interval. It seems a bit muted, a little far away, but those are kind of the immediate sounds that you're hearing from the space above.
Alrighty.
Cool.
The plan's locked in and there's nobody to talk to, so good to know.
You do have microbeads, but They may not
Yeah,
have
I
anything
think the
to say.
death pool thing is just fucked up. So that just like ups the body count in his negotiation strategy. The metal banging, it's rhythmic, like it's consistent.
From what you can hear, it's rhythmic. Yeah.
All right, system. The only thing I can't make out is there some kind of metal fucking banging. It's rhythmic, but I don't know what the fuck it is. Everybody else is just having a fucking party betting on whether or not we get fucking murdered.
Perhaps you could time your shots to it. Perhaps it would give us just that much more time, more confusion. If there are large numbers up there, confusion is to our advantage.
That's fucking clever. I'll shoot whoever's in charge and whoever's not going to get spotted by the others, and I'll try to match this fucking rhythm. Alyn, how's it being in a fucking box?
Well, I mean, I'm in a box. She doesn't really know what to say. Aside of that, it's just like
I mean, it's accurate.
and but I can like hear what they're hearing.
You can hear
No?
what they're saying to you, but
okay.
in
Because
here,
you've got the same sub vocal as the rest of us.
Yeah.
in here you're just hearing the heavy whir of operating machinery.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't hear what you're talking about. So
That's all right. What I'll tell you, based on our previous experiences, if you come out and there's a giant fucking robot, blast that motherfucker. We don't want to have to stab it. It goes real bad for both of us.
oh sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Good. If they're people, well, fucking kill them. But if there's big robots, please let that be a you thing.
Well, fingers crossed for people.
You feel Billy Fingers cross all of his fingies against your hip.
Aw, Billy.
Wait, what did Billy do?
He's crossing his fingers for me.
Well, I think he might be doing it for us. You know, there's three of us here.
Okay. Billy, who are you doing it for?
He gives you like a and then just taps you.
Yeah, all of us.
And then he immediately skitters across your body with speed that almost catches you off guard. And he like raps on your chest angrily, and then he points at little Richard, and then he like crosses his fingers and points at Richard again, and then gives you a thumbs up. He wants you to know that he also is doing it for little Richard. He doesn't want to let a member of the team down.
All right, Billy. I mean, that's great. You scared the shit out of me for a second, but okay.
He just rolls his hand in like I'm a ball of fingers way. Of course he scared the shit out of you. That's kind of his thing. In less fun news, Declan, you arrive at the top of the escalator. So as you described it, you wanted to be kind of like on the lookout for whatever is up there.
Yeah.
So as you start to crest, as the space starts to open up around you, you can see a massive vaulted ceiling. There's a huge chandelier hanging kind of high up, very ornate. Everything is electronic on it's all LEDs, which is just kind of the worst combination of things. Where it's like, oh, it's old and fancy, but also like cheap and modern. You can see large screens and a massive metallic door in the distance. It seems to be kind of like a massive stone arch with a huge blast door dropped behind it. You can hear the banging echoing off that. There's definitely like things are getting louder. The top of the escalator is completely unobstructed. Can you roll me a mind save, please?
What?
10.
10. You don't quite know what that could mean, but it probably doesn't mean anything good.
Yeah, I think if he can't see what's coming up yet, and he's closing in on the top, but he's got honor system coming behind him, then he's actually going to have to prep because he's going to have to react really quickly when he gets to the top. But there's no way to go back. They have to do this. This is just triggering the ambush. So he is going to lay down prone on the stairs and get his rifle in position. So the moment he crests, he might get a shot at before the ambushers of whatever the fuck is coming.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna. No, we'll sort this out after this occurs. Just try to figure out when to do initiative. Okay. So
and he realizes while he's in position, honor system set him up right, which is he's also got a flash grenade. So he'd like to flash grenade so it goes off just before he goes over so he can shoot and theoretically somebody's startled if they're there. And
Great.
I was going to say it is ahead, but he could actually say, these fucking flash grenades are so good. Thank you, system. This could have been a real bullet to the face scenario otherwise.
I'm glad to hear that.
And Declan, with that, you lob the grenade up and over. And sure enough, just past kind of where you can see, you just hear someone say, sir, I think they threw some. And then there's just like a blast of light and noise. And immediately, like chain laser fire just blasts chunks out of the ceiling above you, just spraying across the top of the tunnel, ripping chunks of concrete out. And Declan, as you crest up and over, about a meter and a half back from the escalator, there is a rough barricade made of flipped over tables and luggage, and there's a tripod gun set up, just like a chain gun firing laser fire with an executive behind it, just wheeling it wildly as you see a merc in drone armor, but like really much more of like the livery of the what was the escrow. Like there's like a spray of yellow and a spray of black across his like chest piece, but like realistically, this guy's kind of like, yeah, fucking fine, I work for you. So a hard case, clearly someone who's like a proper merc, and he's like fighting with his helmet. Clearly the optics have been blown out by the flash grenade. So he's like trying to like uncouple it, but it's like a Batman. It's like when like a race car driver, someone else has to like unclasp a bunch of shit, and it's like the Batman problem of you can't just rip it off. So he's trying to get the helmet off. Executive firing a chain gun. There's another one on the other stairwell also firing wildly, but they're shooting at standing level, not low, which means Declan McCready, you get your free shot. What do you do?
Beautiful. Chain gunner aiming at our section. Fuck that guy. That guy's got to go. That's my number one target.
All right. I'll give you advantage because of the way you set up all of this, and I know you're going to hate this, but this is technically a sneak attack.
Yay! I mean, fucking all right. All right, that is a 31 to hit.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll that'll
19 plus 12. It adds up.
Not in my head, it doesn't, but I'll take your word for it.
And that is a grand total of 45 ballistic damage.
The chain gunner pops like a grape. It just like the bullet tears through like center mass, through the heart, blows out his back. He falls forward onto the gun. The gun sort of like swings wildly down and away from you. I'm gonna roll a dice to see what direction it goes. Okay. Also happily away from honor system, so further to the left, and you just hear it start to pummel. Like again, you're hearing like chunks of things tearing. You start to hear screams and a small explosion as the chain gun just sprays across into parts unknown. And that will bring us into initiative order. So, Declan, honor system, and Alyn, if you could please roll.
Nat 20.
That's highly appropriate for what's going on, I think.
22, although I assume Declan still goes first.
Declan will go first.
I'm sure it's nat 20 plus a lot.
Yeah, that becomes a 25.
Yeah, there we go.
I got 13.
13 for Alyn. Okay.
Which also seems right.
Yeah. Well, you actually won't act this round at all, but you will.
Because I'm
soon.
In a
in
box.
a box, yeah.
Yep. Just got all that baggage. All right. So for oh my god, this is also highly appropriate, but kind of embarrassing. Initiatives of 4, 2, and 12.
Yay!
Ruh-roh, Reggie. Okay. Let's do this thing. So Declan, you now have full view of the concourse. As I said, coming up off the escalators, there are 2 ambush nests. Each one has an exec with a chain gun. And again, these aren't like full, like heavy chain guns. They're small enough that they could fit, you could throw one over your shoulder.
Kind of like the M50 rifles with the boxier ammo.
Yeah,
We're looking at
100%.
hard ammo. Yeah.
Yeah. I was literally, when I was designing this, thinking of like Perfect Dark had a laptop gun that you could like throw and it would pop up into a little turret. It's like kind of that size. So enough that he can lay down like a lot of fire, aka if someone untrained were to fire this thing near a target, they would probably hit, but not like a heavy duty, like, rotary cannon on a thing. So, there's 2 of those. Each has a mercenary assigned to it. And the space itself is a large rectangular room with a vaulted ceiling. In the corners of the rooms are similar to what you'll see in airports, where they kind of carve out space, just kind of like under things into the sides for restaurants and that sort of thing. You can see at the far end of, so if we're using our traditional north, south, east, west, against the north wall, most of the north wall is this large archway that it clearly has like an emergency shutter dropped on it. This doesn't look like a security door. It looks instead like if vacuum problems happened, like you would drop this. It clearly leads into kind of the proper entryway to the Citadel. This is very much like, here's the train station, that's access to Citadel. In the northeast corner, there is a bar. So they literally, it's like the corner has been cut off, like it's a piece of paper in Battlestar Galactica. And beyond that piece is like an alcove, basically bar situation. So again, like bad airport bar. Ryan, what is the name of this particular space bar?
The Moon Unit.
The Moon Unit, love it. So the Moon Unit, it has cafe style like circular tables spilling out of it to kind of create that welcoming atmosphere before you get into weird, almost subterranean like concourse bar. And you can see there are a number of executives enjoying drinks that they've clearly pilfered from inside the Moon Unit. Above this kind of little patio on an angle so you can kind of look up at it is a massive screen showing the Primer Hood launch. On the northwest, on the north, oh, I'm sorry, I mixed this up. That was the northwest corner. The northeast corner is a restaurant. Tyler, what is the name of the restaurant?
Luna's,
great.
Yeah.
So there's just a large
fantastic.
neon sign of a cat with like eyes pointing in either direction, a little smile
specifically, yeah.
and in big like swirling script it says Luna's. And similarly, patio set up outside. This patio is nice, like square tables that got like a tablecloth on them, going for almost like an Italian bistro vibe. The chairs are kind of look like wrought iron. They're probably 3D printed, but like there are efforts being put in to make this place feel a little bit more cozy. Unfortunately, those efforts are wasted on the assholes who are complaining like crazy sitting around. And these are the looking at my watch, pointing at my watch. Why aren't we through the doors yet? People who are always mad about being kept from anything they want. So there's a group of complainers who are having a variety of arguments and venting frustrations about this whole situation. They would love to talk to the manager. The manager is upstairs somewhere, and they're just generally frustrated about all of this. And there's a beleaguered waiter robot just like wheeling around between them on like a single unicycle wheel. So we've got the complainers in the north east corner. We've got at Luna's, we've got the bets happening over at the Moon Unit Bar. In the center of the space, there is a fountain with a large statue of Bezos looking majestic, holding the planet in one hand in kind of an Alas Poor Yorick Hamlet skull way. It's a visionary statue, the kind of thing you'd expect to see in like BioShock or something, where it's just, person with a head full of bees staring at the world to come. There are benches around it that are currently empty, but clearly it's kind of meant to be a spot. Beyond that, dead center against the north wall with this giant door, there's a small breach team trying to open the door. So you've got 3 mercenaries, and the rhythmic banging is an Iron Chef unit that has been pilfered from Luna's that is just swinging like meat mallets in a non-stop kind of rhythm against the door, trying to like basically brute force through the entranceway. The breach team also has several executives who are trying other things. You can see there's one trying to hack the lock. Like it's a classic like 3 people doing badly in an escape room where they're all like around it, and there's a lot of pointing and like, no, try this. Otherwise, to your left and right, Declan, as you come up against the east wall and the west wall, massive screen in the center, dead center in either one, showing Primerhood launches. There are a couple of doors that seem to lead off into bathrooms on either side. Directly to your left as you come up, that is currently having fire sprayed into it, is a security station. Was a security station, but the having shot the guy on the tripod gun, his tripod gun is now pulping that station and everyone inside it. And on the other side, you can see a big communications bay. So basically, there's like restaurants on the north side. The south side, there is the security station, and then a comm station that is meant to communicate to the rest of the place. And I should say, under the east and west wall screen are where the luggage carousels come out. So, Alyn, you will be coming out under the east wall large screen presently.
Right.
So that is the situation.
The nests have been set up kind of on the floor in the bigger space directly in front of.
Yes. Yeah.
this?
So
Yeah.
basically, they're like 1.5 meters to 2 meters off of the lip of the escalator to essentially prevent exactly what you were originally planning on doing from happening. So if someone's coming up with a gun, the idea was that there's not someone like standing directly at the top. They're far enough back that they wouldn't be immediately seen. And because they've got these chain guns, the theory would be the second they see anything of anything, they can just pray and
They can
spray.
shred it. Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately, you were too low and you flashbanged them, so they didn't have a clear target. But these,
So
and again,
the room
these
for
bays.
us-
Unfortunately, whose side are you on, Tom?
Mine.
So the room for us is security and nests. Behind them, the like showers, the statue,
Yep.
and then behind that are where we see restaurant, bar, and breach team.
That's correct. Yeah.
Great. About how far away from us are breach team? Just for my brain.
Breach team is, we'll say, 120. So
cool.
the concourse
So
is
they're a
big,
ways.
but it's not massive, but it's big enough. Because again, the theory is that in future there could be a lot of traffic coming through here.
Yep, that all makes sense. So Declan would just sub-vocalize, yeah, big fucking robot confirmed. When he sees the Iron Chef, because that's the thing that scares him the most. And then he would swivel, and his first shot would be into the chain gunner in Nest 2, because that's the biggest threat to system being able to get there.
Great. So go ahead, take your attack. Because you're going ahead of everyone, they're still dazed. They'll shake that off at the beginning of their turn. So again, I'm so sorry. Whose side am I on, Laura? It's a sneak attack, and you can have advantage because they set it up in exactly the same place. So you know where to look.
All right.
Like, I feel like it's the kind of thing where, like, you fired and then, like, you were turning the gun just in case they did what you think they were going to do, and they did. So you're like, all right, well,
Yeah. So this time I only rolled a 30.
well, get the fuck out of here with that. Look, there's one thing I know
What happened to us?
part deux. If there's one thing I know about, ill-trained mid-level managers who are using guns for the first time, it's that they're super good at getting out of the way. No, 30 will absolutely hit.
Yep. And that also does 45 ballistic damage.
Great. You just, like, you're making a cute angle out of that son of a bitch. Just, like, goes through his ribs, just cracks him in half. His gun just fires, like, a straight line up into the ceiling, sort of, like, rapidly spinning, and then stops firing when his hand slides bloodily off the trigger.
Great. Declan, because this is a situation where a bunch of people will probably be shooting at him, is just going to stay prone, because I think that gives disadvantage to get shot. There's something there that adds up to being prone, because there's a bonus somehow.
Yeah, it's disadvantage to hit you with ranged, advantage to hit you with melee, because you're prone.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
hard
makes
to
perfect
shoot,
sense.
easy to smack.
He's gonna stay where he is for this one. Yeah, I think, because otherwise his bonus actions are like dash, disengage, or hide. Is there anywhere he could get to hide? I guess would be the other question.
I mean, yeah, I was going to pitch this to you. Because these barricades have been hastily constructed, you could actually take cover against theoretically, like, the enemy side of the barricade, like your side of the barricade. You could actually use as cover in the same way the gunner behind it was using it as cover. You can just slide, like, do the classic Gears of War, roadie run, slide up against it, and then you'll have cover.
Yeah, so he'd actually like to do that, because with the one guy's helmet down and the two shooters dead, he's going to use his bonus action to try to hide, to just see if he can make it to that wall and have nobody know he made it there yet. Like, shooter must still be on the stairs.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to roll for the merc who is assigned to the second gunner.
Yep.
No, I rolled a 4. So I think she.
Do you want to see if I get the nat 1? Should we just see in case?
I mean, sure. Yeah. Stranger things have happened. Yeah.
Ryan,
yeah. Right.
whose side are you on?
I'm on the side of narrative.
Like I said, mine.
Yeah, 19. So no, I'm good.
Great. So I rolled a 4. So the merc on the other gun, who's overseeing the other gunner, rather than trying to get her helmet off, she literally is just, like, holding the power button on the back, and I think blind firing with her pistol as she does it, kind of like running towards the comm section, admittedly blindly, but rebooting her helmet rather than trying to get it off, realizing it's faster to just reboot the fucking thing than it is to try and, like, uncouple it from all her systems. Cool. All right. So Declan, you've successfully hidden. No one else was looking for this. Everyone else is otherwise occupied, and as we established, most of these people are kind of drunk, and they're not built for this. So you immediately hear shouts of like, who's the shooter? Where's the shooter? What? And meanwhile, in the betting pool, you just hear people like, I told you, Tendris couldn't make that shot. I told you he couldn't make any shots. That's credits for me, boys. As some idiot makes some money before getting killed. Honor system. Declan introduced the idea of Christmas to you not that long ago. Christmas for you might be arriving at the top of this luggage cart to see Declan hiding against your side of a barricade, 2 dead gunners who were gone, one mercenary struggling to get his helmet off, another one is blind firing with a pistol while running away, and beyond that, there's just a lot of execs, and then some. Like, again, a large Iron Chef robot and several 3 mercenaries working on a door with some executives at the front of the room. What do you do?
Honor system, in preparation for this moment, basically assumed the position of a sprinter at the starting line, as this conveyor belt for luggage kind of crested the top, and kind of as soon as Declan's shots were fired and he could basically see the situation, he takes off at a full sprint, knowing that Declan is like hearing stuff like where's the shooter and stuff like that. He doesn't want to go to Declan, he wants to create chaos. And so honor system will sprint and just full like long jump into the crowd of executives at the restaurant, is I think where they were.
Luna's.
Yeah,
so you're going for the complainers or the betting team?
So the betting team, sorry.
Okay, betting team,
that,
sure.
Yeah.
That's a moon unit.
That's at moon unit? Okay, yeah. So he'll like cross and book it for moon unit and just jump into that crowd and just grab an executive. And he just has a human shield now. He's got his sword out. And it's just seconds more of like that chaos and confusion so that Declan can just get off as many like clean shots as possible. So
all right, so I need a let's just go with pure strength. We'll do an opposed check for this grab.
Strength, that's a save. What is it regularly? Oh, it's the same. Okay. 17.
17. Cool. Doesn't matter. Anything but a 1, you win. He's just a fleshy elf man. He is not built for this. So yeah, you grab the exec, who is admittedly wearing a nice suit. Again, we said the people we've been seeing to this point have been wearing kind of like slightly threadbare, a little bit of a shine on it, like older suits. This guy's wearing what was cutting edge right before the conglomerata fell. Big 10-gallon hat. That he's got like little holes cut into so his elf ears can poke through.
Nice.
And is in the middle of trying to collect a bunch of bets when you grab him and hold him up. And it just says, well, hey now, oh, hey, I don't owe you any credits. I'm about to get a big old payout. So how about you just put me down? I'll make you a very rich robot.
I've got my arm like around his neck. Is how I'm kind of holding him, and I just squeeze tighter just to shut him off.
One of beside you, one of the other people who's like backing away from you, they just look at you and they're like, honestly, I know you're probably gonna kill us all, but thank you.
Yeah, I kick a table at him like I don't give a shit.
All right, I rolled a 1 for his reflex save. So just like you hear a crunch as his ribs go, and he just like looks at you and manages a Terminator style thumbs up as he falls forward onto the table, dead. Honor system. So you've grabbed, you've booted. I think that's probably. Unless you're gonna like use an action surge or something crazy, I think that's probably your round.
No, yeah, it's saving the big guns for people with guns. I'm quite fine here to just cause fear and panic amongst these executives.
Cool. All right, Alyn.
Yo.
You hear screams, shouts, exclamations of surprise. As you slowly wheel up and over, and there's a little bit of a bump, and then you just are literally doing like a panorama pan of the space as as you do a lap. When would you spring out?
I'm coming up behind the screens, right? On the east side?
Beneath the screen, yeah.
Beneath the screen?
You're on the east wall.
Yep.
There's a massive screen above you.
Mm-hmm.
Against the wall, but yeah, you're just on a little, almost like a half moon conveyor belt that just kind of peeks out from around the wall, then disappears back into the wall.
And we cut eye holes for you in the trunk. Yeah.
You got all sorts of various
and it's like
holes that have been put in this thing. There's speed holes, there's eye holes, there's breath holes. Like this thing does everything.
Eye holes.
Yeah.
So kind of basically in front of me, I'm seeing the folks at the restaurant, the complainers.
Yeah. So you're coming out on complainer side. So you're seeing the complainers like panicking in a very, again, like entitled way. Like they're packing up their stuff.
Yeah.
Before they panic and run. But they're doing it quickly. You see them, and then kind of as your bag continues to pan, you see the breach team. The the 3 mercenaries. One of them is remaining with the robot, but 2 of them are raising SMGs towards honor system. It's not their round yet, so you can imagine this is the like, oh shit moment as they kind of turn and raise. And then you can see honor system in the bedding section of Moon Unit.
Well, I can't let them fire. I don't like that. And the complainers don't have any weapons, correct?
Yeah.
Not that you've seen. I will also say these mercenaries, the three of them and the Iron Chef are all grouped together. If you,
Yeah.
I think you did also hear big fucking robot confirmed as well.
That's yeah. I'd heard that warning and to like basically attack as soon as I saw. So Alyn having been given this like basically directive to take out the Iron Chef, especially, as soon as she sees it, within the trunk, within the luggage, there's just a crackling of electricity that starts to surround it, and she just like in one swift motion lifts the lid, steps out, and a bolt of lightning hits the Iron Chef, and 3 bolts of lightning strike from the Iron Chef to each of the 3 mercs.
Oh.
As Alyn casts chain
Alyn
lightning.
wins coolest entrance. Alyn wins coolest entrance. That's fucking John Woo shit.
I think Alyn's done it once before, maybe.
God
I don't know.
damn.
Or maybe I've just thought about using
Never in
it.
2099. Holy shit.
Yeah, definitely not in front of y'all.
No.
All right. So, Laura, what do I need to roll on my side? Because I think this is going to get pretty
It's
fucked.
a dex saving throw.
All right. Well, that's a 6, a 3, and a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll
So-
roll for the Iron Chef, who is stationary and beating on a door. So, what's the DC on your save?
Ooh. That's a good question. I don't know in this world.
that's a
Okay,
good
then
point.
I'm going to go ahead and earmark it as a 17. Does that sound about right? Based on how magical Alyn is at this point?
I would say
Or like 15?
15 would have been, I think, at level 14 would have
Okay.
been
So let's split the difference.
think.
We'll say
What? I don't
DC
know
16.
anymore.
I was gonna ballpark it at 17, 15 was level 14, whatever. We'll say DC 16. Doesn't matter because
For all I know, it was 15 at level fucking 11. I don't know.
well, again, there's no magical DCs in this fucking universe, so whatever. I'm gonna like the Iron Chef has disadvantage anyway, and I only
Yeah.
rolled a 7, so I don't think it's getting up and over that with Dex.
Excellent.
So doesn't really matter. I just wanted to know for future because I'm
Cool.
sitting here like just being like, oh, they fail because all
Yeah,
these
yeah,
numbers
yeah.
are low. But I was like, we should probably establish what the fuck that number
Yeah.
is.
What the bar is.
Yeah, but
All right,
still,
so they all failed.
yep.
So they're all going to take full damage. So just give me a minute while I roll my d8s.
Yes. Yes. Lots of dice.
How many D8s is it, Laura?
10
Oh my
God, no.
or
Hang on. Did I say they all failed their saves? I meant they all passed their saves.
They still die.
Yeah, I was gonna say with that amount of dice, I feel like it's not looking good.
right, 4, 8, 15, 16, 17, 20, 24, 26. That's 27. It's not great, but it is what it is.
Well, it'll do.
I mean, it's lightning damage. That Iron Chef's gotta
Yeah.
being
So
metallic. It's gotta do something.
yeah, being a metallic robot who isn't built to protect against electric shock, because why would the chef be? So
I was going to say, canonically, I think we said the chef was against ionic rounds from our last duel because they're so well made.
he was EMP shielded. I
Oh,
don't know if
that's
that
it.
would preclude electrical.
This is very different.
I also feel like arcane lightning is a bit of a different case, but regardless, so the lightning hits the Iron Chef, sparks off the Iron Chef. The Iron Chef continues to pound because, as Ryan, as you point out, like EMP shielding probably means its main unit is like protected enough that it won't like, it's not going to go fucking tin pot like beep bloop like R5 at the beginning of A New Hope. That's his name. Is he a Jedi? Some stories would lead you to believe he was. Fuck those stories. But like that stupid droid that explodes, he doesn't blow up. So the Iron Chef continues to pound on the door. However, The lightning does cause some of his smaller extremities to go off, and as a result, the mercenaries, as they're being shocked, just start getting stabbed and poked with like meat forks and like a pizza cutter. And unfortunately, between that and lightning damage, they just get kind of shredded as the robot continues to pound on the door. However, having been shocked and realizing the threat, it slowly spins. And, as we established multiple segments, all of them slide into place, revealing a massive metallic mask of the restaurant from which it was pilfered. You must face down Iron Chef Luna amidst the concourse. The good news is 2 mercenaries remain. The rest are executives. Let's see what happens on their round.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons 2099 features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra. The system we're playing is Carbon 2185, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are Core Collapse and Sanctuary of the Sky Gods by Nathaniel Yaverne, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Now I'm off to do future things before we return for the next episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons 2099. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. The Half-Blind Prophet, Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Sammy Boy, Orion Birchfield, Scott Garland, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Grandma Likes D&D, Alyn, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Roman Brown, Shulzari, Christian Mendez, Spot Allen, Flynn 1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG It's Big Nick, Steve Wheeze, D&D and Things, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.